making sure that you remember that you're already that person. So whatever dream that you have, just keep pursuing it. It's okay to be different. It's okay to be quiet. It's okay to stand out. Like you're supposed to stand out. You're already that person. So you're not supposed to fit into that crowd. So I just wanted to just send another self-love reminder just based off that amazing conversation that we had, that it's okay to stand out. It's okay to be that girl. Like you're already that person. Just don't give up no matter what you're trying to do, whatever you're trying to pursue. Make sure that you just don't give up. Don't let anything deter you, take you off course. Don't let anything make you think, oh, you know what? This is not working. I'm not fitting in. This is just not, I'm not working the crowd like I should. Don't let any of that crazy noise get to you. Keep working. Sometimes you're supposed to be the first one. You're supposed to be that first person to introduce that idea, to introduce that brand, to introduce that whole different platform. Sometimes everyone's waiting on you because you're supposed to be that new person that's bringing those things out. So don't forget who you are. Make sure, whatever you do, just never give up and embrace who you are. Embrace yourself. Embrace your differences. Embrace your uniqueness. Because as I said, sometimes the world is waiting for you to be the very first one. So don't forget that. Hey, Queen. Welcome to another exciting episode of the Q Chat. Today, we have the talented actress Azaria Carter, and she's the star of NBC's Found and the Starz network series P-Valley. Today, we're going to be diving into her journey, discussing her experiences in the industry, and exploring the challenges and the triumphs she's encountered along the way. We're also going to dive into the importance of staying true to yourself and maintaining a positive outlook in a demanding industry. So go ahead and get ready for another inspiring conversation.
She's a queen about a business, working hard on a mission, and her purpose-driven crown on never tilted. Go queen. Go queen. Go queen.
So thank you guys for joining another episode of the Q Chat. I'm so excited to talk to my guest today. I have a beautiful, special young lady. Her name is Miss Azaria Carter, and I know you guys are familiar with her. I know I got my P-Valley fans in the house who's going to tune in, and also the new hot NBC show Found with Mark Paul Gosselaar and Shanola Hampton. I know you guys have seen it, so we're going to chop it up and talk about this amazing shows that she's on, and also her journey and just being this new upcoming actor that I know we're going to be seeing in the future. So I'm so excited to talk with her. So how are you doing today?
I am doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. I'm excited. Like I said, I love your energy, so I'm so excited to speak with you. So I definitely want to start off just talking about your beginning. So I did watch your channel. I love your YouTube channel, by the way.
Thank you.
I love energy. So I wanted to talk to you about your beginnings. I know you were saying that you started out singing, actually. I know you know how to dance. So I wanted to talk about that. So what's your love for music first?
Well, growing up, I always heard music. Like, if you are in my family, you know music is a big part of us. Literally, like, it's the glue that keeps us together. And so I don't know, like, I always just love the way a song can make you feel. And it's literally true that sometimes a song can speak louder than just, saying it. And so growing up, I always heard music. My dad used to play Michael Jackson around me, and that's my favorite artist of all time. And so I was like, you know what? I want to sing. I want to be a singer. My mom said I used to sing around the house, with my dad and everything else. And I wanted to pursue that as a career. But as you all, many of you may know, I ended up starting acting lessons because my vocal coach, Victoria Wilson, was just like, you should start taking acting lessons because it would help with your stage presence. Because I was very much a shy child. So it kind of broke me out of that. And so ever since then, that's when my acting career blossomed. And I just fell in love with acting.
Do you
But
still
music,
feel like singing in the future, possibly?
Um, See, this is the thing. I to this day I still take vocal lessons with my vocal coach Victoria Wilson, but I wouldn't necessarily say like at first I wanted to be a Beyonce. Okay, I wanted to be, on stage doing shows and everything like that. But now I keep my that gift up and that talent up because if the time came where I was able to do a musical or anything like that, it would have to be acting and singing, not just singing alone, if that makes. Or I may do something, just a little bit, but not just as a full on career. Mm-mm.
Right.
But I do still love music. I still love music with a passion, but just me singing, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Yeah. Well, so I definitely want to talk about so many things, but I want to start off with your current show on NBC, Found. As I was telling you off camera, I definitely had a childhood crush on your co-star, Mark Paul Gosselaar. I don't know if that's appropriate for me to say, but I think it's so cool that you're on this show right now, and it's so many different things that's great about the show. Of course, it talks about just Black girls missing. It sheds a light on that, how, her character, Gabby, the older Gabby, of course, is trying to find more people that may be forgotten, ironically, with the show Found. And there's so many different layers of showing the past history of her kidnapper and everything. How do you prepare for this role? Because I know you're playing someone who's in the scenes, currently, but you're paying her past, which is very important because we're getting the history and the origin that leads to who she is now. So I know it's got to be extremely complex. So how do you prepare for that role?
For me, first of all, I take acting lessons, and a big shout out to my acting coach, Tom Scott, because he literally helped me through this whole process. Because as you may know, this is a whole 360 compared to, Terica. Teen Gabby is totally different. So preparing for this, we really had to dig deep. We did a lot of background work, as in he had me, make what's my background of the character? How did we get to this point? What is yeah, you see her like the last episodes, you see her in high school, but what was before then? And then, as you may know, the story was told backwards. So the last episode actually happened before the first episode. So the whole time he's helping me put bits and pieces together to try to figure out this timeline. And as the story goes on, we find out more. So just really tapping into that and tapping into the fact that this is something that unfortunately a lot of people have gone through and are continuously going through, and just connecting in that way, because these are stories that need to be told and need to be told correctly, and being able to execute that correctly was a big deal. And obviously just to have the opportunity to, like you said, to work with Mark Paul Gosselaar, and it's okay, a lot of people have said that to me. Anytime they're like, oh, that was my childhood, that's Zach. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Right.
But obviously it's amazing, and Shanola Hampton being able to portray her as the younger version of her. Like, who wouldn't want to be the younger version of Shanola Hampton? She's gorgeous inside and out, literally energy everywhere. It's wonderful energy, just a bright light. And so just being in that space, and again preparing for this role, working with him, when I tell you, he was sir. Okay, he's, as a person, he is so sweet, he is so nice, he is caring. As sir, when I tell you, in those scenes when me and him was going at it, oh, like his voice, like it literally rattled me, like in real life. so that helped a lot, just to have that emotion, and everything. And I was there, the emotional prep, character development, all this comes together to help create who Teen Gabby is in this character, and be able to tell this story.
Right. With the show, because like I know, like obviously, like you mentioned, you're playing her in the past, and the scenes between you guys, they're isolating, because obviously he held you in captivity, the character, for 365 days plus 7-8 days, before you comped him, escape, but how is that to decompress? So, do you get a chance to interact with anyone else on set, or is it just simply a lot? Because I mean, obviously, a lot of the scenes are just strictly you and him for the most part. So, how does that work? You know, because I know you got to decompress, so you're not bringing that home.
Yeah, so my coach Tom Scott always talks about emotional preparation, and as well as he talks about emotional preparation to inside, like to get into that emotion that you need for that scene. He also talks about getting out of that. Whatever that is, it's a moment where you sit down, you make so before when you getting into that emotional prep, you do your you close your eyes, you think about scenarios or anything like that that will get you in there. If it's music, you can use that to get you in that emotional space. You maybe take 30 minutes and you leave it on your shoulder. But obviously you don't want, like you said, you don't want to take that home with you. So you have to get out of that. For me, like I like listening to music, like music that makes me happy, that makes me feel, because music, like I said, music goes way back for me. So it makes me feel different things to try to get me out of that, because you don't want to keep that in you, because that's not, that's not the outside world that you are living in. So you don't want to bring that energy anywhere else. So just keep getting out of that, and that's what he also instructs me to do as well. So yes,
Wow, I love the show. It's so intense, you know, but like you're doing great on that too. And you mentioned
thank
something,
you.
obviously, Gabby, young Gabby, and Terica, they're definitely different for sure. So I definitely want to talk about Terica as well. I do love P Valley, it's a great show. And one thing I always like go back to the show sometimes, like you need something to watch. It's like, okay, let me just binge one of my favorite shows. So that's one show that I do like to go back to a lot. One thing about P Valley, it's entertaining, but it's heavy in a sense
Hmm.
because it covers so many different topics of domestic violence. And I think one thing about Terica's character that's really important is not only your character is representing a lot of young girls, and in addition, she also represents, I think, the struggle that Mercedes has to not repeat the generational curses from her mother to her daughter, so complex. And especially the episode Jackson, it's heartbreaking in a sense because she's like fighting, as much as she could to like, oh my God, I don't want, her to repeat any cycles. I don't want these curses to be passed down. Do you have any pressure playing that character? Because like I said, it's really complex actually, because
Hmm.
I think that character represents a lot, and especially a lot of young girls right now.
For me, I feel for Terica because, I myself, I was raised with both my mom and my dad. And in a totally different environment. I never had to go through any of those things, but I know for a fact that, like I said, like any character is about telling stories, and these stories are real. These are real people. It is about being authentic in that. And so one, just being able to portray that. But it's such a beautiful thing for me because one thing about me, I love helping others. And for me, I go to a lot of schools. I like to talk to youth about, just one, about the industry period. And I like to just straight light, but just being a light for the youth, because like you said, this Terica represents a lot of young girls that are going through different things, and that show their emotions differently, because a lot of people are like, oh, Terica just hard-headed, she fast and flip, she did her. But Terica was hurting. Why is she acting the way she's doing? What is she doing? She just wanted attention from her mom. Like, like that was, out of all that, everybody sees that part, but they don't see within. And so for me, it's an honor, one, because I'm just grateful for just being able to work with all, everybody on P Valley is just absolutely amazing. I mean, huh. But like it's such an honor to play this role that stands for something and represents others, and so they can be seen.
Right, right. She definitely does, whether
Hmm.
good or bad, she does represent real things that some young
Hmm.
women are going through, and
Hmm.
that's the thing that I know it's a special role to play that. And especially like I rewatched the Jackson episode this morning, and it's just like I said, me being a mother, me also being a young woman at one point in time, just watching it, I just felt like it had so many layers. It's like one of those episodes I feel like when you have to rewatch it several times to just pick up on different things to really get the weight of the heaviness of that episode. And your heart breaks for Terica as well as Mercedes because you're feeling so many different emotions, just watching that. So I definitely commend you all for that. What is your experience, of course, working with Brandy Evans? And I know, like, you and Shanola, like, it's a little different because you're not necessarily in
Yeah.
scenes together, but how is that experience? You're working with Brandy, and Shanola's great. Like you said, she's beautiful. I loved her from Shameless too. I mean, wow, like you're working with so many like beautiful queens, in this
Yes.
acting world now. How was that experience?
Well, let me start off by saying Brandy Evans is not just Terica's mama. Okay, Mercedes is Terica's mama, but Brandy Evans is my second mama as well. Um, when I tell you she checks up on me, she wants to see my grades. She wants to, like, when I tell you, me and her have, because we spent so much time together, we had a, still do have such a close bond. Like, I literally feel like I literally have talked to her about so many things. One, she's brilliant. Even when we're on set, like, even what she gives me back, like, she is such an amazing person, and it's such an honor to work with her and to have met her, and to be, and now, like, a friendship with her. And so, yes, to answer that question, it's wonderful working with her. I don't even have words, okay? Because I love her so much, like, with all my heart. And Shanola Hampton, you know, unfortunately, I'm not able to be in the same scene with her because I don't think that would make sense. But I mean, hey, I'm just saying. But we have, crossed paths on set. Maybe she's rapping while I'm coming, or vice versa. And all I have to say is, she, just to even know her. Yeah, I haven't worked with her before, but obviously you see her work. Her work is bomb. But, like, just to know her, like, when I tell you her energy, and that's all I can say is her energy. Like, you just have, she don't even have to say anything to you. You just instantly love her. Like, it's just, when Shanola is on set, because you're gonna hear her. She's singing, she's dancing. She's like, "How y'all doing? You sad? We gotta get up. We gotta get up." Like, that's her, and it's such a just honor just to know her. And like I said, to just, because that's what I stand for. Like, her as a person, that's what I love, because I feel like me and her connect on that level of just having that energy and just uplifting people no matter what.
Speaking of, and I know you mentioned that you speak to
Hmm.
schools, you talk to young girls. And like I said, and I watched your YouTube channel. I love it. I got a chance to look at your social media too. What makes you want to do that? Because I know you said you like to help people, but like sometimes people, they don't necessarily view the importance, I think, sometimes of extending themselves. When I mean extending themselves is extending themselves to the people that's behind you, showing in that baton. And young women, it's an audience where they're so special. They really truly need people to pour into them. So
Hmm.
how does it feel for you to be able to be that vessel? And also what inspired you to do that?
For me, one, I talked to a lot of schools, and I had the honor to talk to some schools, like some high schools, the theater departments, or anybody, and I have a whole PowerPoint. And what inspired me is because, one, I believe in sharing knowledge, especially about the industry. And a lot of these kids, they don't know where to start, because I was one of them when I first started. I didn't really know where to start, but then I had coaches who kind of led me the right path. Like, my first coach, Rob Demery, he's the one who helped me get my agent. And so he kind of pushed me and was able to guide me in that sense. But not all these kids have that. They don't have people in there, and then have good intentions. He had good intentions for me. So not everybody has that blessing to have good people who have good intentions for you, to guide you. And so that's why I come in and I try to educate them on what to do and what not to do. Because I've made mistakes of, paying for different things, for representation, or for this or for that. And that's not what you're supposed to do. And so many people fall into that little pitfall of doing that. And so for me, I just want to share that knowledge that I've learned along the way, and knowledge that I've got from so many great coaches and people that I came in contact with on sets and just share that, because I feel like knowledge is something that you can nobody can ever take away from you. And why would I keep that? I'm here to help others, especially if they have, they want to do what I get so many DMs, especially from young girls, like, hey, I want to do this. How do I start? Like, and I'm like, hey, go. I got Rob Demery. I went to him for coaching. Tom Scott went to him. Blah, blah, blah. Like, like I'm giving them resources and everything because they come to me, and I'm like, you know what? Let me reach out and give them this knowledge. And even with my YouTube, like for me, about my YouTube, it's just about, like I said, positivity. And it's called Simply Just Azari because, yes, I play Team Gabby. Yes, I play Terica. But I'm simply just Azaria. And my whole goal is to just show my life, show that I'm a normal person just like you. I like eating crab legs. I like going to the movies. I like traveling. Like, I'm just like you. And I feel like for me being so young, I can really connect to the younger generation because I was there about 2 days ago. But but yeah, like, and it makes me so happy because I want to see so the youth just blossom and have confidence in themselves and know that I know it's so many people may say, oh, that's not a real job, because back in the day, that's not a real job. That's not this. No, like, go for your dreams. Times have changed. There's so many things you can do. If you feel like a pull, a tug to start something, just do it. That's what the whole YouTube thing for me. I was fear that it's over with. Just do it. Like, you got this.
Right. You got this for sure. I want to ask you too, because so many people, they want to get into the acting field. And I know you mentioned, unfortunately, sometimes people don't really have good intentions. What advice do you have, like maybe for like some parents, sometimes parents are managing their kids and they have a talented child, but they may not, like you said, sometimes if you don't know, you don't know. Like, they really don't know where to start, who to reach out to. Again, they may not know like the whole litmus test on how do I know this person has the good intentions? Are they really connected? Like, do you have any advice, if any, on just people on how to navigate that?
Well, for me, like I said, like, I was blessed to have so many people. Like, my first coach, Rob Demery, he literally helped me. And my mom had absolutely nothing. My mom's a payroll director at UNG. She had no, this is not her field. So for her, like, she was blessed to have people who had my back, like I said, my acting coach and my vocal coach and they guided me in that. But for people who don't, I say to one, do your research. Do your research. And ask around. Because like I said, like, for me, I love when I get like, oh, like, go to this person, or because I found out about a lot of people. Like, my vocal coach sent me to Rob Demery. so like, and I knew based off her word, that he was going to be, legit and have good intentions for me and want to help me succeed. But do your research. I feel like a lot of people, they look on the surface level and things sound good, but deep down, like, after you pull down the layers, it's not. And just do your research when you hear different things, and because there's things out there, and people who really do want to help you. But do your research and see their work. Talk to other people if you can that have worked with them, because my number one thing is always getting acting lessons. If your child is looking to be in this career, they need to start doing acting lessons. It's not, oh, let me get an agent, because a lot of people are like, oh, I need an agent. That agent is going to want to see you work. And I would rather you take acting lessons first and get that training under your belt, so you could put your best, foot out there. Like, don't just throw yourself out there like that. Like, actually, because it's not easy. It's not just memorizing words and getting up there. No, it's background, doing synopsis, character development, all that. So yes, that is my advice. Really do your research and look, because it's so many not opportunities, but people out there who really do want to help.
That's some definitely good advice. I want to ask you too, like, what are some of your like memorable moments that you've had in your acting career? Like, maybe someone that you've done a particular scene with that you like, or just any moment in particular that stands out to you.
My most memorable moment. I feel like for me, when I got to be like face to face to Viola Davis, on the first lady I had played, it was I think it was either episode 9 or 10. Don't quote me though, I forget. But I played, my character's name was Edgy Student. And I asked her a question. And I was able to go back there, and she was walking. I forgot where she was walking, but she was walking past me. And I was just like, yo, like that is Viola Davis. I'm like, that is so crazy. I don't know, like just to see her work too. Like she was doing like some vocal exercises and stuff like that, just to see her in her elements. I'm like, that's who I admire that. Like I'm like, I want to be like you when I grow up. Like who doesn't look up to Viola Davis? But so that's one of my top because I literally was just in awe just to be in the room with such a talent. Like she is, yeah.
I can only imagine. Do you have a wish list, or maybe some actors or actresses or directors or producers that you want to work with in the future?
Well, I would most definitely want to be in a Marvel movie, or like I could just look Marvel if you look like yes. And as far as like, I really want to work with Taraji P Henson.
Mm-hmm.
I really want to work with her. Like I don't know, like maybe I could be her daughter or her niece, something. Like just put me. I really want to work with her. Um, and honestly, I want to be in something comedic because, as you know, Terica was, dramatic. Teen Gabby is most definitely dramatic, and I just want to. I want to do something comedic. And the crazy part is, I always thought I was like, I'm more of a comedic actor, but I get cast in so many like for drama,
Mm-hmm.
and I just want to experience that, to have that comedic role, like be in a sitcom.
Mm-hmm.
I want to be in a sitcom.
Yeah. Well, you never know. You got to speak it. You got to put it out there so you can
I
be Raji.
look, it's on my vision board. Okay.
Yeah. Keep speaking it. You'll definitely, the roles will lead to Taraji. I trust me. Just keep speaking it, putting it in the atmosphere for sure. You'll get that sitcom. You'll get the comedic roles. Just keep speaking it and it'll happen. So I want to shift over to self love and mental health. I know you mentioned too how you like to pour into the young people too to build on their confidence. And I know sometimes people deal with imposter syndrome, all types of different things. So I just want to ask you, like, just with everything that you're doing, because I would assume you have a busy schedule. I know you said too that, you still like to do air quote normal things. So how do you cater to your mental health though? And how do you balance that, and also with self care? And because you're also playing, like I said, some heavy roles. So how do you just balance catering to your mental health and just being able to just not, I guess, carry a lot of weight, with your career and everything? So what's your practices for mental health wellness?
Well, for starters, I pray every single morning, because that right there helps me throughout the day because I'm going ahead and putting out there like, you know what, I'm gonna have a good day. I asked God to guide me today, and I asked Him to anything that comes my way, please just help me through it. But yeah, like that's my number one thing I do is pray, and then also just having that balance. I'm a big schedule person.
Yeah.
I'm a huge person when it comes to schedule because I do get overwhelmed a lot, and that can cause other things of getting overstimulated and everything else. So I do like to have a schedule for myself. I work out, that helps a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Just decompressing everything, and like you said, like I still like to do things, and I do that for myself because I have to I do things for myself, because I do work a lot and everything, but I have to still pour into myself and make sure that I'm okay and do the things that I like to do. So I like to hang out with my family. I like to hang out with my friends and everything. So that's really something that I really take pride in and take the time out for.
That's great. And I did see your cooking videos, which I love to cook. I love to cook too. Now, I did want to tell you though, the onion trick is to run the faucet, have the water running while you're chopping the onions. Because I'm sitting there telling it to the screen, like, no, you got to run the water. Because that's how you can prevent that. I don't know how I learned that one centuries ago. You know, I got some years on me, but
When I tell you that onion was trying to take me out, I was like, wait a minute. I was like, please. And the crazy part is, all I did was I chopped it one time and it was done for. I was out for the count.
I know you was calling for your mom. I was like, no, so you gotta run the water. I was like, that onion is killing her.
You know, it hurt so bad. Like
I was like, I'm sure to ease this in our conversation when I meet her. Water, have the faucet running, and it takes the chemicals or acid, whatever that's coming out the onion. That's all you got to do.
Am I supposed to have the onion underneath the faucet? Like,
no, so you can be chopping your onion, but just make sure you have the faucet of water running at the same time. That's all you got to do. Supposedly, if you have a faucet running of water, with the chemicals that's coming out of that onion that makes us cry, it attracts to the water, supposedly. So that's all you got to do. So you don't have to put it under the water. Like, you can be next to the sink chopping it up, but just make sure you have the water running. So that's the trick. And I forgot where I learned this from, because I used to watch a lot of cooking shows when I was learning how to cook. But
I did too. But yeah. after this, I'm going upstairs and I'm cutting the onion by the sink. That's the first thing I'm doing, because I gotta find out.
Because that onion was about to take you out, so I was like, I have to make sure I give her this.
It did. It did. Y'all didn't see that part. We had to cut that. It did.
And I want to try that sauce you were making too, because I was like, okay, because I'm obsessed with seafood. You know, I'm in the South too, but like I love seafood. So I was like, oh my God, when they were eating that, I was like, I don't need to be watching this for sure. You know.
I love B-Love. It's B-Love Smackalicious sauce.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so smackalicious. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
He did that.
Wow. So I wanted to ask you too, because I like to ask, you know, the actors, the creatives that come on the show. So what are you watching? Because like I told you, like I have my moments where like I want to just rewatch something. Like I'll just randomly rewatch something. So P-Valley is one of the shows I randomly rewatch. My daughter, she's gotten into P-Valley. She was very excited. By the way, she's 20 when I told her I was going to be interviewing you. So shout out to my daughter, Maya. But what shows are you watching? I like to ask people what's on their playlist, what's their top 5. So I want to ask you, like, what are you watching when you get some time to wind down?
Okay, so first of all, I love documentaries. I don't know. I just, it don't matter what kind of documentary it is. I just love documentaries. Mm-hmm. I love Criminal Minds. I will watch Criminal Minds all day. Also, I love watching the show You that's on Netflix. Mm-hmm. I'm waiting for the next season to come out. Yeah. I love Outer Banks. What else do I watch? I've been watching a lot of like movies like on like Tubi and everything. Zatima. What else? I think that's about like the gist of it. And then I'm on YouTube a lot. I watch a lot of YouTubers, but that's it. Honestly, I watch anything that comes up, and I'm like, that sounds interesting. Or if somebody's like, did you watch this yet? I'm like, no, you need to watch it. It's good, and I go watch it. Like I love asking people, what y'all watching? Yeah. Because once you binge watched all your shows and everything, that was like, so I just ask other people. I literally watch everything. Literally, I love shows, movies. It don't matter.
Me too. I'm like a movie, TV buff, and same thing. Like I for some reason, I don't know, it just calms me to watch old stuff. You know, even I'll just rewatch something. You know, I'll rewatch something from the beginning, because why not? At least you know what's about to happen. It's like, you know, especially when like our shows are in between, because that's why P-Valley is something I like to watch, because I'm waiting for that season 3. You know, things like that. I know The Hour from Detroit is a show I watched recently on BET Plus. Very good show. Like, I really liked it. So I want to ask you too, our platform at Go Queen, we love to really just obviously put spotlight on queens, but our other cause for Go Queen is really self love. That's our number one platform. Self love is important. It's really the fuel that just gives us that confidence. Like you said, follow your dreams, to never give up, to not quit, to just pursue your purpose in life. So I wanted to ask you, how do you define self love, and also what role has self love played in your life?
I define self-love as just ultimately unconditionally accepting and knowing who you are. Um, I just feel like that's the ultimate, because my thing is, for me, like, you are you for a reason and you have a purpose. And my thing I like to say is, who is better at being you than you? And no matter what else, because I know it's so much pressure to do a lot of stuff or be like a lot of people, but like, you are you for a reason. And just to learn, when you truly just learn how to love that, the way you walk is different, the way you talk is different, how you hold yourself is different when you truly just love yourself. And that is what self love has done to me, because literally, people, I haven't experienced, well, I experienced it like maybe in high school, whatever. That's when I first was on this journey of like learning how to love myself and really appreciate who I am, because I was always known as the loud, I mean, always doing something, always out there, and people used to pick on me for that. And when I got older, I'm like, you know what? First of all, I'm like this for a reason, because now look at me. One, and then two, like that was for something. It was a reason why I was the way I was. Why I was always had all this energy. I had energy for forever, like, but it was a reason for that. And when I really learned how to love myself and to completely accept who I am and be like, yo, girl, you is fly. Like, like you are her. Okay. Like, it's the best feeling in the world. And that's when my confidence level. So now when I walk in different rooms, I know who I am, and I know that I'm supposed to be in here, that I deserve to be here, you know, and I give myself that affirmation. I don't need to hear it from anybody else, because I know who I am and I know who God says I am. So, and that's it.
Mm, I love it. I love it. And speaking of, I know you said like you were shy, and then this world does not like shy people for some reason. If you're quiet, it's just like people just have such a problem with people being quiet and
Yeah.
being to themselves. I don't know what the big issue is. I'm one of those people, but I know creative people too. And I've talked to a lot of people, like yourself, they're creative. They have a lot of dreams going, and they've always mentioned how like they've had people in the past like weren't necessarily too kind to them or things like that, and they had to fight through it. And I know just for us brown girls, it's something that we've had to deal with too for whatever reason. So I want to ask you too, like, what affirmations? I know you touched on that, but what affirmations can you leave us with, and especially for that person who they may feel a little different, but they're special. They may not necessarily comprehend that right now, how special they are. What affirmation do you have for that person that may tune in and they really are special, but they just feel like they're on a different island? They just can't fit in. They just can't figure out why they can't rock with everybody. Like, what affirmation would you have for that person?
One, I would say that you do not have to rock with everybody. That's one. Because I feel like if you're fitting in, then you don't stand out. That means you like everybody else. Why would you want to be like everybody else? Because if that was the case, we would all look the same. We would all be the same. You know what I'm like? We were meant to be unique and different, and you are unique and different for a reason. Don't let those people make you feel less than because you aren't like them, because your interests are different, because you look different, whatever the case may be, because you are you for a reason. And like I said, who is better at being you than you? And you have to love yourself, because I'm telling you, the only reason why they're treating you like that is because they probably don't love themselves.
Mm.
Because anybody who, like you said, anybody who hates on or has a problem with somebody is not bothering anybody else. They have an issue. They have an issue. So don't put that on you. Don't put all their issues and everything on you, because that's not your responsibility to deal with that. And then it's okay to be quiet, because sometimes you don't have to talk. You just do. And then they'll see the finished product.
I love
That's
it.
the best way to do it.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much for this interview. Like, I love your energy. Like I said, it's just bursting through the screen. Like, I just love just the energy that you have, the positivity. Like, you could just feel it just from your smile, your laugh, everything. Like, I just know that you're gonna go far. Like, you will be on screen with Taraji. Like, you already claimed it. Like, it's gonna happen. We don't know when, but the win, the WIN with Taraji will happen because you're just great. So I know it's gonna happen for you. Before we end everything, tell everybody how they can find you. Definitely direct people to your YouTube channel, but tell everybody how they can find you.
So on Instagram and on Facebook, it is my Instagram and Facebook is Azaria. So AZARIA dots or periods, and then Carter CARTER. And I think I have two Facebooks. So my other Facebook, I believe, is Azaria Carter Acts. So AZARIA CARTER, and then ACTS. And then my YouTube is at Simply Just Azaria, because I am simply just Azaria.
Also, tell us, do you have any projects coming up next? Like, what's next? Where can we expect to see you? Like, I know P Valley, I can't ask much about that, but what else can we expect to see you on? Do you have any upcoming projects that we can look out for?
Well, right now, like you said, like I am still filming P Valley season 3, and I'm also filming Found season 2 right now. So I'm literally bouncing back and forth at the same time on both shows. So those are the two projects that you can look out for. I'm not sure when P Valley will be coming out, but I know that Found is coming out in the fall.
Awesome. Thank you so much. And send my energy to Zach. No, I'm playing. I'm so happy that I got this opportunity to speak with you. And you just have some great things that I know will uplift someone who's going to tune in. So thank you again. Thank you. And like I said, I know you're going to go far. I'm just happy that you're talking to us now, because I know you're going to go far. And you have amazing energy, and much success to you and many blessings. So guys, please make sure that you tune into Found. You can go catch the past episodes on the Peacock app. Shout out to Peacock. And of course, you can catch P Valley, an amazing show, which I cannot wait for season 3. Please hurry, Starz, because we're all definitely waiting for P Valley as well. But I hope you guys picked up on a lot of good things from this interview. Just, it's okay to be who you are, no matter what skin that you're in, however you feel. Just don't let outside energy affect who you are. It's okay to be different. You're supposed to be different. You don't want to be like everybody else. You have to stand out, especially if you have a dream in your heart. You have purpose. You have vision. That's the only thing that you need to be focusing on. Keep your eyes on that. Don't let anything outside deter you from who you truly are, and that big vision and dream that you can make come true. You already got it. You can become whoever you want to be. You're already that person. Just make sure that you keep fighting and keep moving forward. Don't let anything take you off course. So thank you guys again for tuning into the Key Chat. You can catch this episode and more www.goqueen.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you be safe, and of course, go love yourself.
She's a queen about her business, working hard.